Hey, hey, smack 'em a gob, everybody. We're back. We are the biggest Kiss podcast. And with me is,
Oh yeah, the Ayatollah alcohol, Wadzilla baby. What's up, Ralph?
not much, man. Who we got with us this week? Because I'm blind.
Oh, we got the Polish Punisher, the co-anchor of Decibel Geek, Mr. Chris Senzak is with us again, and by choice. We chose this.
Yeah, and we're not raising money for anything. We're just doing it for fun. It's awesome.
Yeah,
But yeah, thanks for the invite as always. Always happy to join you guys and always happy to talk about blackout era Alice Cooper. As we were talking about before we went live, blackout in quotes era Alice Cooper.
yeah. Like this one's not officially considered the blackout
Yeah, you
era.
could kind of go either way with this one.
But in my opinion, it should be because he should be just as embarrassed about this as those other three albums. God damn it.
Well, here's the thing. Normally we do the news, then we do the review, but Chris might have to dip early. So this time we're going to do the review first, and then we're going to do the news. And Chris will probably hang with us for some of the news. Now, before we get into the album, I'm going to give you an update of my house. My house is completely done. Thanks to fucking TV nerd Ian Wadley, I went and bought me a 77-inch OLED LG TV with surround sound. I mean, I went all out, right?
Mm.
And I needed that and a curtain because everything else in the house, right? So I finally bought the curtain. I bought the LG TV, and I'm like, okay, my house is completely done. So I call my friend Bladder. Yeah, that's his name, Bladder. I call him up. I go, yo, Bladder, come by my house and film me doing an episode of Cribs, like my house, Cribs. And he goes, okay. So he comes by, right? And it's around 8:30 at night. The sun's starting to go down. Well, anyway, he comes in. We do the most hilarious Cribs. It was all off script. I kept bringing up like jerking off David Ellison. I kept bringing shit like that through the whole video. Anyway, it came out great. So I put it in my program to edit, and I deleted it by mistake.
No.
And when you delete stuff on Vegas, it doesn't go to your recycle bin. It deletes it.
Oh.
So I also thought, I go, look, man, I called Bladder, and Bladder went out and partied last night with that. Ian knows there's a Nazi we know that does a lot of cocaine. And
Yeah.
and I've been there. I've been to the house. He's got a Nazi flag. Well, anyway, Bladder was asking me yesterday, hey, let's go to Chris's house. And I was like, nah, it's all right, bro. I'm not in the mood for cocaine and Nazi tonight. So he leaves. Where was I going with this story? Anyway, I after he leaves, I delete everything. And I call, oh, that's why I'm going with the story. I call him today to come today so we can redo the Cribs. He's like, bro, I'm fucking tired. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. He was at the Nazi's house doing cocaine. So he promised he'll come tomorrow. So hopefully, keep your fingers crossed. Monday, which is June 30th, at 6 p.m., you will see an episode of Cribs, my new house. And let me tell you, man, this house is bad. That TV set is fucking God.
I'm glad you liked it.
I got this, surround sound. I'm watching Jaws. And like behind me, I hear waves. No talking. Just waves.
Awesome.
It's amazing. Anyway, so we're here this week to talk about Alice Cooper's Flush to Fashion that I just had on my turntable. I've been very busy today, but I kind of this album is kind of, I know it. I don't have to take notes, even though I did a couple notes. But I'll talk about this. Actually, no, man. Chris, you talk about it first. How did you discover Flush to Fashion?
Oh, really? All right. So with Alice Cooper, I was basically kind of just a fringe fan through most of my life. I liked Poison. I like the song Poison. I liked House of Fire. I knew him from that era because I was a hairband fan. But I never fully got into him. And then it was well, I guess surprisingly in hindsight, Mitch LaFon, who I don't know if that name's come up on the show in a long time, but
French fuck.
yeah,
What
Mitch,
happened to
I
that?
wasn't do what?
What happened to that guy?
He's dealing with a whole bunch of health problems right now.
Uh,
Yeah, he'll post every day, but like, yeah, he has like long COVID or something that's like he's a mess health wise. So yeah, I feel for him. But yeah, Mitch was like a pretty good friend of mine at the time I started Decibel Geek, and he's actually the first person to guest on the show. And but at around that time, he was friendly and interviewed Dick Wagner, who was Alice's solo band guitar player through a lot of those years, and was like, "Would you be interested in interviewing Dick?" Because he had put a book out, and I was like, "Oh, I don't really know a lot about Alice Cooper, so but I viewed it as a challenge, so I started digging into Alice's solo career and getting into a lot of that material that he was on, but then also that led me to, Flush the Fashion, the one we're talking about today, is not Dick Wagner's not on that record, but I kind of just grew an affinity for that era of the band. So it's just probably around 2011 is when I got into that era of the band, and it for some reason that one stuck with me the most, and just because it's so avant-garde, weird, and yes, he's definitely trend hopping and he's trying to latch on to what's big at the time. There's no question about it, but sometimes it works, and I think it works more often than not on this record. I think some of the rest of the records from this era, it's a little bit more spotty, but I still have a soft spot for all of those records. But yeah, basically 2011 is when I got into this.
yeah, I don't care if you trend hop as long as you trend hop and hit the mark,
Yeah,
where a lot of trend hopping doesn't hit the mark really. But I thought this one did. It was good for the time. It really was. There were popular songs on the radio that sound like some of these songs in that time. And I'll talk about that because there's one song that came on. I was like, man, this is so in the wheelhouse of a real popular song.
oh yeah, I know what you're talking.
So, all right, I can't tell you when I discovered the album. I will say, Clones was on the radio a lot at that time. They pushed this album a lot, but that's the only song I remember hearing. And then, that horrible, well, maybe you guys like it, but that horrible, I thought it was a horrible movie called Roadie.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's terrible.
has another song from this album. My favorite song from this album is on Roadie. But I bought this album. I used to go to a place, not even 10 years ago. I used to go to this place called CD Trader. That was maybe 12, 15 years ago. Yeah, give or take. CD Trader used to have in the corner a bunch of vinyl for 199, 299. I think the most expensive vinyl back there was 399. This was 99 cents. And I'm like, I gotta buy this shit. I took it home, I played it, I fucking loved it. I thought it was great. Yeah, it was weird. It was,
Yeah, you were, I mean, I think I already know this, but you were already a big fan of him and the original band when this came out. Like, were you actively following him at this time, or had you kind of
yes,
lost
yes,
track of him?
yes, because I bought all right, I stopped at trash. I did buy Constrictor and Raise Your Fist and Yell when they were new.
Mm.
But I didn't buy Trash. I didn't buy Hey Stupid. But I did buy The Last Temptation of Alice, which I ended up liking. Then I bought Brutal Planet, which is probably my favorite of the later stuff. Then I bought Dragon Town, which was but I went up to Dirty Diamonds. Everything he's released after that, I haven't bought. I've heard
Yeah.
it. I've heard it, but I don't like it. No,
Well,
I did order. I did order the new Alice Cooper. A double vinyl was on Amazon for like eight.
yep.
How much? It
It
was
was
really
like 20. It was less than $20. I can't remember what it was. It was cheap.
So I was like, and I love the two songs they released from it so far.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, okay. So this is the first Alice Cooper album I bought since Dirty Diamonds.
Well, now, did you buy this? Did you say you bought this Flush the Fashion when it was new?
No, I
You
bought,
did not.
I had this, I've had this sound for like maybe 15 years.
Oh, okay. So you
Now,
don't have a real memory of it coming out at the time.
oh no, because I didn't listen to it back then.
I
Now the
got you.
internet age, yes, I heard it because I downloaded all the Alice Cooper albums. So I did
Right.
hear it on MP3 for a while. But as far as owning a physical copy, that I bought about 15 years ago for 99 cents. And I love it. I love the album. I have a couple complaints, but
Yeah.
yeah, but
It's weird overall with it. Like the Roy Thomas Baker production. It's a depending on my mood, I either love it or hate it. It's fun. It's funny. There's times I'll listen to certain songs on this, and I'm like, man, if it had like a beefier, ballsier production on certain songs, it would sound so killer. But then there's other songs where I'm like, no, it needs that thin ass super high trebly production. So yeah, that makes it stand out alone having him produce it.
yeah, man, fucking, I dig it. How about you, Ian?
Um, well, this one I got. It's had to be mid to late '90s. My first introduction to this, it had to be. Had to be before Life and Crimes of Alice Cooper box set came out. My first introduction to it was amazing. Ralph, I'm sure you got that.
What?
Came out around 1990. I don't know if you've ever seen that,
What?
Chris.
The Life and Crimes box set.
No. Prime Cuts, the
Oh,
VHS.
Prime.
Oh
I've
yeah,
seen it
yeah.
once. Yeah, it's
I,
cool though.
I own it.
Yeah, it's really good. Luckily, they put it out on DVD. I got the DVD of it as well, but it's a really good Alice Cooper documentary. But in that, they played Clones is the only thing you hear. But I was like, ooh, I like this. It's fucking different, but I like it. But it was one of those that was out of print. And I remember, in 1990, Metal Blade Records put out some out of print albums. They put out Muscle of Love, Lace and Whiskey, and From the Inside. And I got all those and I loved them, and those are kind of weird, different ones. But if there's two things that's Ralph's ever said in the history of this podcast that are absolutely fucking true,
Hey,
it's
I've
that
said more than a couple of things that are true.
Yeah, just two.
yeah, but there's two that really register with me, and one of them is every Sammy Hagar fan should be beat to death with a fucking double-ended dildo,
That's
and two,
I never said that.
I could have swore you said that, and two, timeline.
I said jackhammer, not double head.
Oh, okay, and two, timeline is everything. So where those other ones I discovered at 15 years old, I think they get a pass. Where I don't know if I heard it later on, I would have loved it as much. Like especially like Lace and Whiskey, which is still a very spotty album, but even From the Inside, very weird albums. But because I got into them at a young age and have history with them, I'm kind to those albums. Where this one, I was deep into Alice Cooper by the time I heard it. I've always, especially post 90, it was all about original Alice Cooper band more so than solo shit. So I didn't have a history with this. And when I heard it, I was just like, no, just no all over. I'm like, this is fucking terrible. And in fact, the CD that I have is a German import. I don't know if it was ever officially released on CD in the States. I don't think so.
I don't know.
Yeah. My CD, I know my CD's. It's a German. It says like Warner Brothers Germany on it and stuff, and I believe I had to pay import prices. But I'm such a Cooper fanatic. I was like, oh, I got to get this, and that was the only one of that period because back then, even I think it was really hard to find the three Blackout albums. I think Dada was easier to find than Zipper and Special Forces. But no, when I heard this, it's like I had no history with it other than clones, and it just missed the mark for me. And you mentioned the production. I think this has the worst Alice Cooper production. This and Pretty's for You, I think, are the worst sounding Alice Cooper records. And what's odd is you got Roy Thomas Baker, and even though Queen can suck a dick straight up, those Queen records sonically are amazing. He did, what was it, the first couple of Cars albums? Those sound amazing. And you mentioned the treble on this, and that's what it sounds like. It sounds like when I hear this, no matter what system or how I'm listening to it, it sounds like I'm in a car listening to a realistic tape deck that only has treble. There's no bass, no mid-range, no nothing. It's just you have tweeters and everything else was blown. It sounds horrendous.
Do you know why I think that is? I think it's because the most of the people involved in the making of this record were high as hell on cocaine. And I think
Yeah.
it sounded good in the studio when you were completely jacked to the nines.
Well,
And that's why
I
it
don't know.
got
I
put
think
out like
it's.
this.
I've heard stories about some of these, the bigger producers, and Roy Thomas Baker was a name, even at that time. But I think maybe this was a project he didn't really invest in that much. Like he took the money, but did he work on it that hard? Because I mean, look, this is only 2 years from the first Cars record.
Mhm.
And I could be wrong, but didn't Roy Thomas Baker do Candy O as well? I could be wrong.
I
But
don't
still,
know. Yeah.
those are sonically amazing albums.
Yeah, but
You
what did
know?
he do really after this either though? Like I heard that he had gotten lost in a lot of drug issues
Yeah.
around this time.
He
So
did the second Darkness album. I know that.
well, he did
And
great
that
on that.
sounds better than this.
Yeah, it does. Well, maybe he cleaned up his act by then.
But yeah, so this album has never been a favorite of mine. And, I'll do anything to get you on the show, Chris, entice you any way I
I don't
can.
know why your numbers probably don't go up,
Shit,
but I love
numbers, what
hanging
are
out with
those?
you.
What are those? I know. I just love hanging with you though. But I was like, how am I gonna rope this fucker in? I'm like, okay, come on, you can pick any Alice Cooper record,
Yeah, it's
Ralph.
Roy Thomas Baker.
Okay, cool.
Wow,
That's a
wow.
great
And
great
that
rec.
album sounds fantastic.
You know what album sounds like shit he did? One on One, Cheap Trick.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. And
I don't
that's
like that one.
after this. But so anyway, when I mentioned to you, and I knew what you were gonna do. I knew you were gonna go this fucking era. But I
Of
thought for
course.
sure you were gonna do one of the Blackout ones, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'd rather do a Blackout one as long as he doesn't pick fucking Flush the Fashion. And what do you pick? And I'm like, ah, fuck.
You would have rather done Dada or Special Forces or Zipper? I know you like
Yes.
Zipper more.
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not a fan of any of those records, even though there are tracks on all of them that I like. But as a whole, I think they're horrible.
Well, I'll be
But
clear. I don't think any of them are great complete records. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not that big of a fanboy of it. But I like certain songs a lot on each one of them.
but
This
admittedly,
is my favorite one.
This is
but
the most
admittedly,
complete of all of them.
you are more of a fan of Alice Cooper's solo than you are the Alice
Yes.
Cooper group, which I
Yeah.
find fucking retarded. Can you say retarded? I just did.
I can give you
Um,
some rationale for why I feel that way.
Because
yeah, yeah, I don't care. It makes no sense.
hey, Chris, I'll let you save your breath. I'll tell Ian what your rationale is. All right,
Okay.
Ian. The reason that is because he's retarded.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to put it a little more eloquently, but let's go with that.
Yeah, let's skip the middle, man. Don't polish a turd. You're Polish.
Can't wait to get me on their show and then call me retarded.
But
But that's why I
but
love
yeah,
you guys.
so I mean, fuck it though. Any chance to talk about Cooper, and it pains me, to diss this guy because he means so much to me, and I was raised on this guy. I love him to death, but he's not infallible by any means.
I'll tell you one
Uh,
thing. I think there's a couple of songs on this album that would have worked really well for the original band. And I'll get into that.
okay, I'd like to hear that. I did today. I did a weird deep dive, man. I listened to Flush the Fashion twice, and I listened to all of the Blackout albums. And I gotta say, I don't know. I don't know what. Like I said yesterday, I listened to this album and I thought it was the worst thing ever. Lightened a little bit on it today. Still don't love it. But after today, I like all of the Blackout albums better than this.
Really?
Yeah, even
Hmm.
fucking Zipper Catches Skin, which is
So you're the
probably
opposite. Most
the
people like
weakest.
this one better than the other
I
three.
do. This would be my favorite one.
Yeah.
But
I have a soft spot for Dada, but it is pretty strange, you know.
and what's funny is the day before this, I listened to like the late '80s Cooper. Like when I came in, I listened to Constrictor and Raise Your Fist and Yell.
I don't love
Um,
those as much as a lot of people do.
I
but
I,
it's
I love Rage Your Fisting, yeah. Constrictor, wait, hold on, I gotta pass gas. Did you get that?
Nah.
Constrictor had some garbage on there, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I do like the song Throw My Gorilla because it's so stupid.
No, that's the worst thing on there.
Yeah, I love it though. I love some things that totally suck, and that's one of them.
I legitimately love Life and Death of the Party. I
You
love
actually
that.
like that song.
I love that. I
I
don't like
couldn't,
it. I love it.
I couldn't get into that song. All I liked was Throw My Gorilla, Teenage Frankenstein, The World Needs Guts.
Oh, I
That
like
he
he's
played that live when I saw him a couple of years ago.
Nice.
World
I
Needs
like he's
Guts.
back. You know, it's funny. Like Constrictor, I loved when I was a kid, and then as I got older, I was like kind of like And I listened to it yesterday, and I don't know. It just I was like, it ain't that bad. Well, yeah, it is, but I don't mind it. And then Raise Your Fist and Yell. I remember I really didn't care for it when it came out, and I listened to it yesterday, and I liked it a lot better. But still, it's like not my. It's ever since ever since Alice went solo, it's just been, you know, trend hopping, and very like I've always said, his career and Kiss are very similar,
Very.
which, whatever. And then, but sometimes it works, like Brutal Planet, which is
Mhm.
like the biggest fucking Manson ripoff ever, but I love it. And I think I love it because it's really the production is great by Bob Marlette,
Yeah.
who was a good producer for that industrial type shit. But I just think the songwriting was so good. Like
Yeah.
even if you took away the industrial sound of it and went with a different sound, the songs themselves were written so well. I was like, this is amazing. But then what's he do after that? Dragon Town. Boy, what a dog shit fucking record is Dragon Town.
I,
That shit's
I
fucking
love I
horrible.
love Trigger Man. The first song, then the rest was like,
What'd you call me?
I called you a wackerfin American.
But and then I was so happy when you got the 1-2 punch of the Eyes of Alice Cooper and Dirty Diamonds. Because then he went back to copying himself, because those two sounded like Alice Cooper group records to me. Like the songs, the lyrics, the music, everything about it. I was like, good, he's going back to being himself. And then he went off on a whole another thing after that. And uh-oh, we lost Chris.
He'll be back. They all come back.
Yeah. But wait, what do you think? Now you haven't really liked anything after Brutal Planet, have you?
I,
Ralph?
I no, I liked Eyes Alice Cooper and Dirty Diamonds. After that, I haven't liked anything.
Oh, I meant after those two. Yeah, but and I don't know if I've listened to any of them all the way through. Like I tried to get through Along Comes a Spider, and I don't think I ever made it.
That one's not horrible. It got worse after that. Like I didn't like Detroit Stories. I'm not
Yeah.
into the garage rock. I hate the MC5 and shit like that. The only garage rock I like is like fucking the Who, early Who and shit like that. I don't like American rock much. I like if it wasn't for the Americans, the British people, yeah, well the British people took what the Americans did did it better. I know many won't agree with me, but Led Zeppelin ripped off blues artists and made their songs way better. Period. Because those limeys know how to rock. There's Chris. I told you he'd come back. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I haven't, but I'm very excited about the new album. Hey, if the new album sucks, at least it's got two good songs. You know what I'm saying?
I will say this: I absolutely loved Black Mamba. I thought it was fantastic. And one thing a lot of people bitched about that I thought was incredible, they hated the yayas. I loved it. I thought it fit fucking perfect. I was not crazy about the wild ones.
Oh, I like that one.
That one had to grow on me a little bit.
It's grown on me a little bit, but to me, it's like, wow, shouldn't you release like a 1-2 punch? To me, it's still, even though it's grown on me, it still sounds kind of fillerish and doesn't sound like the Alice Cooper group. It sounds like Alice Cooper solo, where Black Mamba sounded like the Alice Cooper group to me.
Black Mamba has that old school vibe, but like, yeah, the Wild Ones to me musically reminds me of something off like Paranormal. But also,
Oh,
but those guys still bring their flavor to it, and it's grown on me the more I listen to it.
boy, that paranormal. Holy shit. And welcome to my nightmare. Holy mackerels.
Even though I do love Bite Your Face Off, I thought that was a fantastic track.
I like certain songs, I just don't like full albums from the later
Yeah.
era. Yeah.
Fuck
All
that.
I
right.
I like I Am Made of You. It's weird, but I like it.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's off Welcome to My Nightmare.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. What'd you think of Road? Did you listen to Road?
The newest one, yeah, I bought the deluxe edition of it. I didn't like it much, but I paid a lot of money for the deluxe edition of it.
Yeah,
It
it
has a few
happens.
it has like three songs I like, and then the rest was pretty forgettable to me.
All
He
right.
doesn't
Well,
have a great track record lately.
before you leave us again,
Sorry.
maybe we should get started in this album.
Yeah.
So why don't you take the first track, the first of three covers on this album, Talk Talk.
Talk Talk. Odd choice for an opener to me. I don't know that it works as the opener. It's a cover of a 60s song by a garage rock band called the Music Machine. Um, Strangely though, I think it almost fits this era better than when the original version did. And if you listen to the original, but I think you can hear like an influence on the original Alice Cooper group from the original. So I think it's just him kind of tipping his cap to somebody that influenced him. It's a fun song. I don't hate it, but I would have picked something else to be the opener. And the keyboard was a choice. I would have gotten rid of a lot of the keyboards on this album. It would have improved it a lot, but I still like the song. What do you think, Ralph?
I like this song. I went and looked for the original. I didn't like the original. I thought Al's done it way better.
Me too.
It's a fun song, man. I think, yeah, opener. Well, I mean, really, what would be an opener on here?
I
True.
would have opened with Clones.
Yeah, it's true. That would be probably the only opener on this album.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun song. I like it. What do you think, Ian?
Talk Talk. They should have called this Shit Shit. The fuck is this song? It's all over the fucking place. I mean, the tempo, it's so shitty. I didn't even bother checking out the original, even though I am a big garage rock fan. I would have closed the garage door on this shit. This is Alice giving Coke a bad name. You know what? There's a lot of other people got coked up and made excellent music. What the fuck is this shit? And fuck Roy Thomas Baker. Again, I said it earlier. To me, this is the worst sounding Alice Cooper record since Pretty's for You. Bad opener. But I kind of did. I thought the same thing. I was like, even though I'm bitching about this being an opener, what would be a better opener? And I think Chris was right. The only logical choice, I think, would be Clones. So I'll go into Clones. I've always loved this one ever since the Prime Cuts Home video when I heard it. To me, the best track on here. I even like, and I doubt Ralph has ever heard this, and I don't know if he would like it just on principle alone. Did you ever hear the Smashing Pumpkins cover of this?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
It's uh, and it sounds faithful to it. You know, it's not a huge departure. Just Billy Corgan singing, but he does it in the same kind of voice coder thing that Alice does. So it's pretty similar. Um,
It
but
sucks.
no, I think this is a neat song. Uh, Kind of this fits the new wave thing it's supposed to be. Uh, and I think it's cool to try something different. He got so weird once he went solo. There's so much like Broadway and shit to a lot of those, first couple. I mean, you listen to, Welcome to My Nightmare, Goes to Hell, Lace and Whiskey, and From the Inside. There's a lot of like, maybe not so much on From the Inside, but on those first three, so much like Broadway, kind of like jazz hands kind of shit. Um, and this is him saying, "Well, that didn't work. I'm gonna try this." And it fits, and it fits, and it's got his attitude. I think he still makes it Alice, um, but it'd be short lived for this album. What do you think of Clone, Sinzak?
I think it's the best song on the well, it's a neck and neck tie for this song and another for the best on the album. It's one of my favorite Alice Cooper songs. It's a blatant rip off of Cars by Gary Newman. But I actually like it better than Cars by Gary Newman myself. I think it's got a better sound. I think Alice Cooper going into the new wave mark. I wish that he had more. I mean, I know this got radio play, but I wish there was a way that there was more promotional push behind him. But like, I can't imagine the record company seeing the shape he was in at the time, thinking, yeah, we want to put a lot of money behind this. Even no matter how good Clones and a few other songs on this were. So that's a shame because I do think with the right promotional push, this could have been a legitimate hit, I think, at that time. So I love the song. What about you, Ralph?
Yeah, fucking great song. Yeah, Gary Newman, The Cars. This is better than Gary Newman. And I like Cars from Gary Newman.
Hmm.
I think it's a cool tune. Timeline. But this is better. This is fucking awesome with his menacing voice, the little robotic voice coming in later. It fits the motif of the music. It's especially of the time when I used to hear this on the radio when both of you were like taking shit out of your diapers. This was actually on the radio when I was a kid, right? And it sounded like I was listening to the future. It didn't make me run out and buy the album, but I really liked it. I was like, man, this is a cool song. And I remember, many years later, I haven't heard that song ever again, but I remembered it. And I remember like that Life and Crimes of Alice Cooper or the not the Prime Cuts, getting that and finally hearing it again, you know? Fucking love it. It's a great
Kind
song.
of kind of prophetic too with technology these days too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Then this is my second favorite song. My favorite song is Pain. The next song. This song to me, I would even put it, well, number one, it's the best Blackout song in my opinion. And I would even put it in my top 10 greatest Alice Cooper songs, period, along with some Alice Cooper band songs. I love it. I love the piano. I love I don't know how you can describe it, like a mambo kind of vibe to it,
Hmm.
the piano, and it's just got a swagger. And listening to this song, it's like Alice doesn't sound like he's blacked out yet, you know? It sounds like he knows what he's doing. It's a great melodic song that should have been pushed. And it was in that horrible movie, The Roadie. Yeah, they played it on that. But definitely my favorite song off the album, my favorite of the Blackout period. And I would say, yeah, definitely my top 10. Ian,
Let's see, Pain. I know some of you think this is some lost classic, but it does nothing for me. I remember even talking to Sinzak, when I was there for the last Rockin' Pod, we were talking about this album. He's like, "What? You don't like Pain?" Um, it's it's not horrible. I mean, there's nothing about it like, "Oh, this is one of the worst tracks I ever heard," but there's nothing that grabs me about it either. And it could be, I don't have the timeline with it B, I'm not a fan of the production and the sound. Maybe if it had more punch. I know I'm in the minority here because this is one he did actually bring back on a tour, like maybe about 10 years ago or so. He performed this, and it's very rare that he does anything from 76 through 83. He almost never does anything from those albums other than, I think, from 76 to 83, Goes to Hell is a mainstay. But other than that, he'll drop one or two. Um, but he did bring this back, so there are fans of it. I don't hate it, but I don't. It doesn't do for me what it does for you guys. So.
I've seen him play clones.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Nice.
Huh.
So, wait, everybody talk about. Did you talk about Pain yet? No, since I got to talk about.
Not yet. But yeah, I got to see him play Pain live. It was actually at the show here at TPAC, the Tennessee Performing Arts Center, and it was a great show because they brought out a few different songs, and Pain was one of them. And Aaron and I were at that. We had really good seats, and that was so cool when they went into it. And also, that was the same night that the original guys that were still alive
No.
came back and played like four songs, and it was awesome. Yeah, that was an amazing night. But this song, it's neck and neck. I have a three-way tie for the Blackout era. My favorite song, it's Clones, Pain, and Pass the Gun Around from Dada. Mostly because of the guitar. Well, I love the sentiment behind the song because it's so depressing, but the guitar solo is amazing.
That's my
But
that's my favorite song off Dada.
yeah, it's incredible.
What an
You
ending.
know my favorite song on Dada is Dada.
No,
I fucking love that song.
you just love the baby going da da. I have a daughter. No, you have a
I
son.
I love the feel of it, the fucking aura. Like, man, if it would have
It's
kept up
creepy
like
as
that,
hell.
hell
Yeah,
yeah, it is. I
it is
like it.
creepy.
I generally like it. I was like, man, this is a good sound. It's a good, even though it's so weird, but yeah, I love the creepy
I like
vibe.
I like that one too, man. I
And
like
but what kills me with Dada, there's some songs I like on it, but then it goes into Enough's Enough, which is like the worst song on that fucking album. So it just kills all the momentum that Dada,
Yeah.
like formerly Warner should have went after Dada,
Oh,
and
that
that would have
song
been
is
like a
so
cool
good.
vibe. But that enough.
Yeah.
Like get Enough's Enough wouldn't even play that shit. That's how bad it is.
man, that's
Sorry,
bad.
Aaron Camaro.
Yeah, I don't want to hear Chips enough do his version of that.
Ooh,
Um, but no, like Pain, one of my favorite songs of his whole discography. And I just
wow.
love the whole idea of writing a song from the perspective of Pain, saying what Pain thinks. And like it's a compliment to me to hear you screaming through the night. That's such a cool line. This is when Alice was writing really, even though he was high as hell on cocaine, he could write some great stuff through this era.
Hell
Right
yeah.
And
on. We'll
The next song.
take the next song.
you want me to take the next song?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. All right. Well, so then that goes. So we go from one of the best songs in Alice's catalog to what I think is not one of the better ones, Leather Boots. I can't defend this song. This is one of the only ones I always skip on the album. It does nothing for me. It's like punk meets new wave with a twangy guitar country sound. It's a weird, strange song. And then the backing vocals are by Flo and Eddie, and Kiss fans will know them for being the guys that introed them at Anaheim and also had the TV show that Paul and Gene showed up to promote the Elder on, which is probably the worst, most embarrassing TV appearance that Paul and Gene ever made. This song kind of sucks, in my opinion, and written by a guy named Jeff Weston, who was a member of the San Francisco band The Other Half. But I don't like this song at all. What do you think, Ralph?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I can't defend this shit. This shit sounds like a bad filler on a Devo album.
Yeah.
Devo, I love Devo, but they have some bad fillers too. There's some bad filler, and this sounds like one of those Devo songs, and I'm like, oh, it's garbage. I don't like it at all. This and another song. There's only two songs I dislike on this album. This is one of them.
So
Yeah,
we're 1 for 1 on that.
You guys are nuts. This is the second best song on the album. I'm
Yeah, you're
kidding.
high.
This song fucking sucks, man. Jesus Christ. Another cover. What the fuck is this? And how can I score as much coke as it must have took to like go, this is a good idea, you know? But if you listen to it and you think about being coked up, like really like, you know, when you get that first fucking rail that you chase the rest of the night, the one that's like, whoa, I gotta take a shit, you know? That's like, that must have been, you know, the big line that they did, and like, yeah, this is a good song. Fucking horrible. Really bad. But then we go into the next song, Aspirin Damage. Uh, God, I hate this song even more than the last song. Uh, but the only reason being is this one's longer. I think Leather Boots is a worse song, but this one's fucking right at its boot heels. But it pisses me off because it goes even longer. And the chorus kills it for me. That aspirin damage. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Get the fuck out. This shit is fucking horrible. I hope this is somebody else's second favorite worst song or second worst fucking song or whatever. Fucking aspirin damage sucks fucking cock. What do you think, Sinzak?
I like it.
Ugh.
It's a quirky song with really awesome lyrics. I balance my Excedrin and and anisons and stacks. I'm a
That's it.
pain
I'm taking a
reliever
piss.
junkie. I got a bear on my back. Get it, bear aspirin. I think that's I don't know. It's a goofy song. It definitely is a filler track, but I like the space age like keyboard part on this song. It's one of those where it sounds like if I got really high on cocaine, I would love listening to this song. What do you think about it, Ralph?
I love this song, man. Fuck you. Fuck it. Let me tell you how much I love it quick before he gets back because I don't want him to find out I like it because he'll hurt my widow feelings. It sounds like a Weird Al song to me before Weird Al. It's got that goofy, but it's fun. It's a fun tune, man. It's non-offensive. It's funny. Of course, yeah, I can pick on a million Alice Cooper songs I like more, but I would not put this in the leather boots category. I
No,
just,
but there's a lot of comedy in during the blackout era. He wrote a lot of stuff from a humor perspective. So now I want to I don't want to call it the blackout album era anymore. You've inspired me, Ralph. I'm going to call it the Weird Alice era.
yeah, yeah.
It's Weird Alice.
But okay, I'll take the next one, Nuclear Affected.
Mhm.
I think this one has some clever, funny lyrics. It's a fun song. Not offended by it. I like it. What do you think, Chris?
I think musically it's kind of a filler song, but I never skip it. This is one I always listen to, and I agree the lyrics are the best part of it. He was obviously, look reading newspapers and getting ideas for songs at the time with I want to live on 3 Mile Island where things are clean and neat because we don't have no health freaks cluttering up our streets. I'm nuclear infected. I need something to eat. A China syndrome salad with plutonium and cheese. I mean, that's the coolest shit since Lee Gersman's Bugs on Cheese. I don't know. What do you think of nuclear infected, Ian?
Well, hold on first because I missed it because I had to piss. Ralph, what did you like aspirin damage?
I don't want to say because you're gonna say something that might hurt my feelings.
Well, that
Oh God,
answers
you
your
must have liked
question.
it.
I loved it, motherfucker. Fuck you,
Uh,
big black ass.
all right, what's the next nuclear fucking whatever?
Yeah, we did ours on nuclear infected. What do
Go
you
ahead.
think?
Nuclear infected. Uh, the pre-chorus is all I can stand about this turd. I like that, like I grow yellow, I'm going da-da, da-da-da-da. You know, I like that part, and everything else I fucking hate. But I do like that part, but that's it. Fucking turd. All right, what's next on this fucking shitty album here?
Grim
Let me see
facts.
here.
Grim facts.
Grim Facts. Okay, here we go. Grim Facts. There's some albums like, we talked about earlier, I don't even know if it was recorded, we were talking about Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusions 1 and 2, making one album. There's double albums. You can make one album. There's albums that should have been an EP, and then there's albums that should have been a fucking 45. And this would have made a great 45 because this is the only other song that I really, really honestly love. Grim Facts is awesome. I love this. Boy, if this album was a mix of Clones and Grim Facts, it would have been awesome. And to me, Grim Facts even, I mean, it's still very treble high in the production, but there's something about it that sounds better than the rest of this shit. I think the lyrics are on point. I think you guys have been kind of generous on some of the lyrics on some of this other shit. It's kind of too cartoony, even for Alice, for my standpoint. But Grim Facts, I dig this one, and I think this is one of the ones that he did dig out on a random tour in the 2000s.
Actually, no, I have a note about that. They got as far as rehearsing it, but they've never played it live.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, Chuck Garrick
Well, I
tried to
got
get
I
him to
got my
play it
Grim
live.
Facts wrong. Um, but no,
Alice,
I
somebody
dig
should
this.
have an Alice Cooper Wikipedia called Grim Facts.
uh, but no, I dig this one definitely, and this sounds like it could have been the original Alice Cooper band. I think it has the same, the great songwriting, the great lyrics, everything mixes. I I think the biggest problem with Alice's solo shit is none of the bands that he plays with sounds like a fucking band. They all sound like session musicians, just like session people coming together and playing this shit. And even though the band that he has now, for the most part, he's had for a long fucking time, they are all fantastic musicians. The thing is, they're not the same songwriting team that you had with the original Alice Cooper group. I mean, you're never going to beat when you get Alice Cooper and Michael Bruce in a room to write and you got the other guys playing. There is a sound and a flow where all these other solo albums, whether, the ones I like and the ones I don't, it sounds like him with a bunch of session people. Does not sound like a fucking band. But this is one I think is up there with the Alice Cooper group. Love Grim Facts. Ralph, how about you?
Oh, I love it. I love the little simple riff in it. And this is like before CNN and before 24-hour news shows, And it's kind of like explains that in the song. This shit's futuristic, bro. This is before its time. Third favorite song after the album, Pain Clones, Grim Facts. That's what I think. What about you, Chris?
I think this song fucking rules. I've always loved this song, and this was one of those that, yeah, in the couple of times we interviewed Chuck Garrick, but I think maybe we talked about it in the interview, or other times I bumped into him at shows, and he had mentioned that he had pushed to put this into the set list because Chuck's, it kind of helps pick the set list or at least present what they could play or rehearse to Alice, and then Alice vetoes or whatever. And this was one that got vetoed, but they rehearsed it a few times for a couple of different tours, but it never got past that stage. I would love to see the current band play this song and make it a little heavier. The other song, and we could have just as easily done a Dada episode because I could talk about that all day, but I still say to this day that Scarlett and Sheba from Dada with, heavier guitars, and you could even make a whole production out of it with two girls on stage. That could have been a great song for the set list, and I've always pushed for that, but Chuck always laughs when I bring it up. But yeah, Grim Facts, love that song. One of the best songs on the record, one of the best songs of the Blackout era, actually. And sounds like that's one of the two I said could be an original band song, which goes to Model Citizen, which is the second song on this album that I can't really defend. Um, and I think I can defend part of it, not all of it. I think it was two songs that were pasted together, at least lyrically, because the verses don't jive with the chorus at all. The verses are kind of random and clever, and then the chorus comes off as like a commentary on people in power put in, to fool people in public. It's a weird song. It's good, okay. It's okay musically, but it's not that good of a song. And the whole chorus is terrible. Like he's an ultra sweetie guy. What the hell is that? I hate this song. This is one of the two songs that I hate on this record. What do you think, Ralph?
Yeah, we mirror. I hate this fucking song,
It's terrible.
especially the chorus. That shit fucking cringeworthy crap.
Yeah.
I did get a slight chuckle when he said, "I'm friends with Sammy Davis Jr."
Casually.
Casually, casually. I
Yeah,
thought that.
that's a funny line.
Yeah, I thought that was okay. But
And
yeah,
the deep in the heart of Texas part's kind of funny.
this and Leather Boots are fucking. I hate them as much as Ian hates the songs I love on this album.
Right.
Go ahead, Ian.
Well, that's a funny part. I wrote in my notes about this.
You better not
Uh,
say this is your favorite song on the record.
no, no, no. I already
Oh, okay.
said Clones and Grim Facts. That's like the one two. Those are the saving graces of this album. But if there was a third, it would be this one. And I put coming around on this one. I like the chorus, something you guys both hated.
Oh God, that's the worst part of the song.
And that was like the saving grace to me on this one. I was like,
Well, and
ah,
I was
maybe.
revisiting it again earlier today just to, not that I needed to really refresh on it because I've listened to it a million times, but my main thought was, I guess that background vocals weren't really a prerequisite for this backing band. 'Cause the backing vocals on this whole record are not that good.
Yeah, no, it's far. Trust me, I would never go. Ooh, I got to hear Model Citizen, but it doesn't piss me off as much as the rest of this shit.
On what is that little keyboard part? It's going through the chorus. Just so bad.
Hey, and this was played on the tour. Not only this tour, but on the Special Forces tour.
Hey, do you know about can I divert for a second? Like, do you know this I think it was this tour, his stop in Nashville that they like tried to pull a bait and switch on to get people to show up at the concert? Do you
You
know about
you
that?
mentioned that to me when I was in Nashville, but I'm so drunk I don't remember it.
They were gonna play here at the fairgrounds, the same site of where we had the last two Rockin' Pods. And but it was different buildings back then, but they would put on big concerts there at the racetrack. And Alice was coming into play, and somebody like it's never been confirmed that it was somebody from the Alice camp, but come on, it's Shep Gordon managing him, and like this is 1981, so like not a good time for him for ticket sales. I think it had to have
Mhm.
come from them. Somebody started a rumor that hey, the Rolling Stones might show up and play at this show. I don't know why they did, but they did, and the place was packed, of course, because people thought, wow, the Rolling Stones might show up. And of course they didn't, and Alice played, and then people like revolted and threw shit. So, uh,
I,
I,
I I bet Alice had a lot to do with that fucking thing because he loves to lie.
yeah, well, he does.
Was
I
Billy
mean, he's
Squire at
been
that
known
show
for it.
because he was opening act for the tour?
Probably. There was somebody that had Facebook. I know a couple of people that were around for it at the time, and they've talked about it and saying like they showed up and were all disappointed. But there's photos of like flyers and stuff for it. I'll have to look for them.
He did come down here for that tour, and I didn't go. I don't know if it was Billy Squire, but he
I
did.
do have the tour book from the stop and they played in Tampa on that tour.
I'm almost positive he played Hollywood Sportatorium, which is a big venue.
I know my dad didn't see this tour, but he saw the Special Forces tour. He saw that in Indiana, and we always laugh about that because he played the Star Plaza Theater in Indiana,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
and
you
that's
know you've
always
hit
like,
the bottom.
yeah, no, seriously, that's what it is. Because if you play the Star Plaza in Indiana, it's because you can't sell enough tickets in Chicago, and
Yeah.
it's close enough to where So and I would see that even when I was coming up. If a tour was doing bad, you would see it get moved from one venue to the Star Plaza. You know,
Is that place still
and
open?
Jimmy James Schwartz, big fan of the show, will tell you about the Star Plaza Theater.
Is that place still operating?
I'm not sure if it is now. I know it was even through the '90s and stuff, but it was still one of those. It was just a downgrade venue.
Welcome
But
to
he
the
said it.
bottom.
Oh, he enjoyed it. He said it was.
Yeah.
Said it was a lot of fun. But I mean, who knows what the fuck my dad was on when he went to the show too, you
No,
know?
I was hoping out that Ralph was going to say he saw Alice during one of these tours, but you didn't see him back then.
I saw the first time I saw Alice, believe it or not, is the first time Ian saw Alice when Ian was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
I
What
very
tour was that?
constricted.
Constrictor.
Oh, Constrictor was your first show.
I saw the Constrictor tour on New Year's Eve in Miami, and Vinnie Vincent's Invasion opened.
How was Vinny's Invasion received that night?
I think they got a good reception.
Oh, good. Okay.
The sound wasn't that good for him though. It was a little too loud on the guitar part. Maybe it had something to do with Vinny,
We
but
know who that's. Yeah, that's everything to do with him, I'm sure.
he drowned out like the rest of the band. I didn't think it was a great performance, but
Yeah.
he went over well.
And you saw Paul Taylor and Kip Winger from Winger in the backing band that night.
Yeah, I saw that as my first rock. My first concert was Julio Iglesias, which Ralph was probably at that show too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I gotta be at that show. I'm a spick.
But my first rock concert was Alice Cooper and Tesla on the Constrictor tour, and
Right on.
yeah, amazing. But
And let me tell you something. When they played Schools Out, midnight already happened during the song, and the whole place is cheering because it's midnight, right? And I'm all the way up front, all the way up front. And then the song ends, and Alice is right in front of me. He's like, "Happy New Year!" And I got to tell you, man, Alice at the time quit drinking. He got all clean. His eyes were very red and glossy.
Oh,
Might not have
really,
been drinking or fucked up. Maybe he had a cold, but I was close enough to see his eyes were very red and glossy.
he might have had a planned slip for New Year's Eve. Who knows?
But yeah, that was the first time I ever saw Alice Cooper Constrictor tour.
It's a
Because
good time to see him.
oh,
yeah,
it was a great show.
it was awesome. It was exactly like the MTV concert.
That I
Yeah,
remember seeing that when it aired on MTV. That was that was fun to watch.
That was the concert. It was nothing different. It was exactly like that.
I remember loving the Man Behind the Mask video, but like then in hindsight, I'm like, God, I hate the studio recording of that. It always sounds so much better live.
He didn't play
and
it. He didn't play it better.
yeah, I know, and I've talked about this on the show, like the look of shame from my dad, because I was pissed because that was my Alice Cooper was Constrictor,
Well, that's
and
a
I was
terrible
mad that
song.
he didn't play that, and I go, yeah, but he played that goddamn telephone is ringing song,
Oh,
and
Under My Wheels.
yeah, and my dad just looked at me like, it was straight out of Smokey and the Bandit, he was like,
You
there is
some
no
bitch.
way. No way that you come from my loins. Like, fuck you, And now I look back in hindsight, it's like, fuck, why didn't I appreciate it? But, I knew Constrictor, that was my shit. But he
Right.
did play Teenage Frankenstein. I remember that, and they did the whole, just like Ralph says, like you see on the MTV special from Detroit. But it was a great show. Tesla was amazing. I mean,
Yeah, Tesla was really good back then.
that's the one where, I've talked about it before, where there's a guy in front of me who looks like Silent Bob, got the trench coat on and opens it up halfway through Alice Cooper and pulls out a fucking bong that's strapped to the inside of his trench coat. And it was seriously, it was about 4 feet, 5 feet high. And he just starts
Wow.
hitting. Yeah, he starts hitting in the middle of the show and elbow my dad. I'm like, what's that? What's that guy doing? And my dad looks at me and goes, I don't know. He goes, but breathe in the smoke. I was at the Peoria Civic Center.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
and I had the fucking program that got stolen from me in junior high. Oh, man. Good fucking show. All
All right, so
right.
we got one song left on this, right?
No, two songs left.
Oh, it's two. Yeah, you're right. Two songs.
Yeah, because you already brought up the Stones, so let's talk about where Alice tries to rip off the Stones.
Yeah, well, totally.
What's it? Dance myself to death?
Dance yourself to death.
Yeah, whatever. Leave the Stones to the Stones. This backing band ain't got the chutzpah to play the Stones. Not like the original band could have done. Not a horrible song, but I mean, it's weird on a new wave album. He does like a Stonesy kind of song, but he doesn't have the band to pull it off. But you can tell what he's doing. It's Stones esque.
Dude, he's got
But
baby John Stone on guitar who played with Elton John for all the like the
yeah,
band is
hey,
good.
I love Elton John. Elton John ain't the fucking Stones. Uh,
Hopefully, like the Stones are fucking virtuosos.
but they have a rhythm, they have a grind, and to me this is it's like a bad Stones cover.
I like it because it sounds like the Stones personally. But do the
Okay.
Stone? I'm sorry, I'm going to go ahead and take my turn here. Um, do the Stones have lyrics like "Mom's hair is all green and dirty. She wears a high-tech Devo suit. She changed her name to
Hey,
Xerox. She hides Quaaludes in her boots."
Yeah.
black girls just want to get fucked all night. I just don't have that much jam, you know.
Hey, tit for tat. I don't know. I love this song. What do you think, Ralph?
Fucking love it. To me, it sounds like some girls era of the Stones. Not, I wouldn't say overall, it sounds like a Rolling Stones song. It sounds like a song from some girls. Because the Stones had that, well, just about every Stones album has that identity. And some girls had its own identity. Though you can hear some of it bleed over on Tattoo You, because Tattoo You is basically some songs from some girls that didn't get recorded. I
Right.
love this song. I think it's fun. I think it's the only song on the album that's stripped down rock and roll. It
Mhm.
doesn't really match the album as far as music wise, sonic wise. This is the most rocking song I'd say on the album.
That's the second song I think could be an original band song.
Yeah, I can totally hear that. I love it. I do love it. Do I go now for headlines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would probably be my fourth favorite. I think it's a fun song. It's catchy. And it took a while. Well, this whole album actually took a while for it to grow on me because I kept pounding it because I loved Pain and Clone so much. I got to get into the rest of it. So, yeah, it finally did go down on me. And I love Headlines. I think Headlines is a fun song, kind of the Dark Horse song. I mean, they're all Dark Horse songs, but I think it's the one song on the album that it is a little special to me. To me, not Ian Wadley. Don't you worry none, Ian Wadley. I like it and you don't. And I will prove that he doesn't. Let's get your opinion, Ian Wadley, on Headline.
uh, I just put very forgettable, like the album. Nothing special, nothing that like I would remember 2 minutes after I hear it. But it's not as bad as like fucking aspirin damage and leather boots and shit like that. But it's just, this isn't one that where when the record's over, I'm like, oh, I gotta flip this over and start it. It's just like, well, that was a track, you know. And I know, of course, we all know Alice lies, but he said he wrote headlines because all of these title tracks were written from headlines that he read, like in the National
Yeah.
Enquirer. But it's like, how does that pan out when three of these are fucking covers and all this? Like, you might have got a couple from the Weekly World News, but whatever. Rewrite history. That's what you do. Just like he never did drugs until Super Duper Alice Cooper came out. You know?
True. I can't argue
but
against you on that.
no, it's not. There's nothing you know horrible about it, but I mean, nothing to write home. It's to me a forgettable track. What do you think, Sinzak?
I like the song. It's although I'm a little split on it. I hate the chorus. I don't like I wanna be in the. I don't like that chorus. There's like at least two to three songs on here where I'm like, I wish they'd put a little more work into the chorus and a little less work on, freebasing cocaine. But they're still good. There's still a good song here. Honestly, this could if they could have made it like a concept album on current events, and if that was the case, this would have been a good opener. But I think the riff, I like the main riff for it. Yes, it is kind of James Gang Funk 49 and a half because it is
Yeah,
very. very reminiscent of James Gang. But I like that riff. So, um, I don't
This
know.
is
I like
reminiscent
I
of James Gang, like Limp Bizkit's reminiscent of Black Sabbath. Jesus Christ.
or the Who. They did do Behind Blue Eyes. Amazing cover, right? But no, I
It's better than the Who version.
that's true. It's better. It's a cool song. I don't know that it's a great. Like I said, I think it will work better as an opener, but not one of the better songs in the album. But kind of a mid-length song to go out on, which is not great. But I still love this album. It always puts a smile on my face, and I just love this goofy, drugged out, strung out era of Alice Cooper. I don't know. What do you think, Ralph?
I already talked about headlines.
Oh, you already did. I'm sorry. So
That's how forgettable this song is. You forgot he even talked about
no,
it.
I've just had too many of these.
The hell you say?
I usually don't
Well,
get into the fourth beer, but you guys got me there. So
that makes me proud.
yeah, my
Uh,
4 a.m. wake up time is not going to make you proud. That's for sure.
this album was released October 28th, 1980. Produced by Roy Thomas Baker at 28 minutes and 34 seconds. It's like 2 seconds longer than Rain and Blood, but not better.
To me,
There
it
was two
is.
singles released from this. Clones was released as a single with Model Citizen as the B side, and Talk Talk was released. I don't know what the fucking B side was to that, but
Why the fuck did
uh,
they release that as a single?
yeah. And what's odd is like, okay, the album comes out in April. They released Clones as a single in April, and Talk Talk was released in September. You think you waited a little bit too long?
Should have been Clones
um,
and Pain.
yeah, this out it made it to 44 on the US 200 chart,
That's
Billboard's Top
respectable.
200. Yeah, not I mean, especially for Alice at that time. But of course, nothing in the Blackout would even come
No, he
close
went
to
off a
that.
cliff after this one.
Oh yeah, and I see why. But there are fans of this one, and there's people like Ralph. You said you like this better than any of the Blackout albums,
Yeah, it's my favorite one.
and I would say like after listening to all the Blackout albums today, again, no, prize there, but I would take Special Forces out of those. Even though it should have had "I Saw You Over There Ripping the Sawdust Out of My Teddy Bear" on that album, because
That's
that song
great.
kicks ass.
I love
Which
that shit.
the version that's on the Life and Crimes of Alice Cooper is a demo. It wasn't the one that they actually recorded for the album,
It's
and
not.
it's
I thought
on.
it was the one.
No, that is a demo recording. There is an official recording, and on original pressings of Special Forces, it's listed on the track listing. But
Yeah, but it's
Alice
actually
won't.
on the album.
No,
Oh, I
no,
thought you
no,
said
but
there was another version on the album.
no. There is the version that we know from the box set is the
Yeah.
demo of it. They
Okay.
recorded a full blown like album version of it, and Alice pulled it at the last second. But he pulled it so late they had already printed up, the vinyls and everything. That's why it's listed on there.
Right.
Um, on that, but he said he felt it didn't like fit the album. Like it's such a fucking any of these albums. Like how could you say one song doesn't fit the fucking album? But
Well, nothing was
yeah,
too out there before that one. I don't know why that
exactly.
song was
So
somehow over the line. So is that
right,
available anywhere?
no, to this day it's never been released.
I
You got me
thought
excited.
I thought that was his blackout period. How does he remember taking that song off the album at the last minute?
Oh, here comes Ralph with logic.
Yeah. Well, I remember when we interviewed Dick Wagner, like he made it pretty clear, and he even told us when he wasn't on a microphone, he was like, "Look, he's ashamed of the cocaine use." And he like because the cocaine use made him a different person. The alcohol he could always still be the same guy, but he's like the cocaine made him not a good guy, and he's ashamed of it. So he's like that's why he hides from it because he's like I know he remembers most of that stuff, but he's not going to talk about it because I think it
Yeah.
almost ruined his marriage.
Yeah. Well, isn't
Yeah.
the thing like Scarlet and Sheba? Isn't that like a.
Yes, that's about two waitresses that worked at the hotel bar while they were making the album. That
That they fucked?
well, he stopped short of saying that they did, but
Right.
I think they did. but they like showed up with Black Forest cake,
Yeah,
and
and then even in the song "I Love America," he's like, "I love waitresses who like to,"
yeah,
you know.
was it with a nice pair? Yeah. Oh,
So
a
he
waitress who
probably
loves to flirt. Yeah.
probably probably what happened was he tried to fuck her, but he had coke dick, you
Mm,
know. And that's
very
what
likely.
for you coke enthusiasts. There's two types of people. There's people who do coke and can go all night, and then there's people who get coke dick.
Yeah. Which is
Unfortunately,
most.
I got coke
I'll say which is most of us.
dick. You'd want to fuck really bad, but you just couldn't.
Yeah, it's very
What about you,
frustrating. Not.
Ralph?
Yeah. What about you,
Which one were
Ralph?
you?
I definitely suffered from coke dick.
Yeah, that's. I'll never. When I was 18 years old, I sold vacuums door to door, and
Rainbow
I
or Kirby?
Electrolux.
Electrolux, nice.
Yeah, and I worked with this guy who he every weekend. His name was, fuck it, I'll say it because he's probably dead by now. Chuck Ballstrode. That was
That
his
sounds
real
like a
name.
vacuum salesman.
Yeah, but he would get coked up every weekend, and one week he got arrested because he beat the shit out of his girlfriend because he
Oh,
got
geez.
mad because he couldn't get it up and he wanted to fucking couldn't, and I don't know if she said something wrong and he didn't like it, and his fucking dick was limp but his wrist was tight. Gave her a little what for. you know Now
Wow.
that's grim facts every parent needs to know. you know
I'm glad you were able to tie that into the album somehow.
Yeah. There's some headlines for your ass. He smacked her with leather boots.
If you don't like it, you can dance yourself to death.
Hey,
That's right.
speaking of headlines, let's get into the news.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what's going on here. Or wait, do we want to do pick of the week before he leaves?
No, we're gonna do pick of the week when he's gotta leave.
Okay. All right. Headlines. What the fuck's going on? Bill Ward says he's nearly finished recording two new solo albums. Not one, but two.
Wow.
Yeah. I tell you what, I hope they're better than that last album. That shit was that Accountable Beats.
I don't think I ever even listened to that.
Oh, that shit was fucking terrible. I
Was it
love
not
Bill Ward,
rock?
my favorite drummer of all time. I can't. It was so horrible. I think it was like I don't know if it was industrial or what the fuck. It was
Mm.
fucking unlistenable. Is what it was. What it was. Uh, but don't give a fuck. Still my favorite drummer of all time.
Are are you guys gonna purchase the live stream for the
Oh,
Black
no,
Sabbath final show?
no, check this out. Our buddy, man, I might have the wrong guy, but I think it is the guy from Transylvania, and
Yeah,
he's gonna buy
Dracula.
he's gonna buy it and he's gonna air it on the podcast channel.
Oh yeah?
So on Rock and Metal Combat, go there on Facebook,
Oh
and,
wow.
and he's gonna put it. He asked me permission,
Oh fuck yeah.
and
I'll
then
get to save some money.
yeah, and this guy just today wrote me going, "You think it's worth it to buy it?" I go, "Hey, bro, join the podcast channel. You get it for free, bro. Fuck,
Wow.
fuck giving Sharon money, right?"
Oh shit. I'll be right back. I gotta piss. That's
Yeah,
fucking amazing.
it will be live on the Almost Human Facebook page. In case none of you, anyone watching out, you're not part of the Facebook page. Tough shit. You snooze
So
your.
it's Almost Human, not Rock and Metal Combat.
Oh no, it's Rock and Metal Combat.
It is Rock and Metal Combat. Okay. All right. Because I'm gonna have to sneak peeks at it. Like, well, we'll see. That day's my wedding anniversary, so I'm trying to be like stealth about how I get in. Like, I need to find out what the lineup is and when certain people are playing, so I can tune in at the right time. So, but I mean, it has to start at like what, like noon here or some shit, because they're 7 hours ahead of us in England.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the time difference.
So it'll start pretty early here because it's an all day thing with a million fucking people playing at this thing. So it'll probably start in the morning for us.
Yeah. To me, man, the most important thing of that show is Jakey Lee for me.
Well, he's probably gonna get one song, is what I
I
heard.
don't care.
Yeah, I'm just glad he got invited.
Yeah.
It's cool that he got to go.
And it'd be nice if Ozzy's on stage with him.
Yeah, well, they were talking about it on Cobras and Fire, and I guess Baco saw an interview or something where Jake said that I guess initially they were thought about doing Bark at the Moon, but he's still not fully recovered from getting shot up in Vegas. So he's
Yeah.
hoping it'll end up being The Ultimate Sin is what he's hoping that they'll end up playing. But it looks like it'll be one song with Jake.
I saw the Ultimate Sid tour and they didn't play that song.
Really?
And I know
That's
that.
what he opened with when I saw Black was it Red Dragon Cartel? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I seen him play with Red Dragon, but the Ultimate Sin tour, they did play it on that tour. It's on that horrible home video, but
Ugh.
they didn't play it the night I saw it. They didn't play it, and I thought it was so odd.
Yeah, because that's one
Uh,
of the best songs on the record.
I just saw they had a news story that Jake said that they have two men in custody for his
Yeah.
shooting.
Yeah, they caught him.
What I'm curious about is if they're going to give up Sharon, as the person who paid for him to shoot him. I hope they do, because that's what happened. Sharon's like, I don't want to pay for Jake to fucking fly, to fucking Birmingham. That's money.
Find a couple
Let's
of
just
crackheads
kill
on the
him.
Vegas Strip to take care
I
of it.
Yeah.
doubt, I doubt Sharon paid Andrew Jacobs or that racist from Boston.
Oh boy, keep my mouth shut.
Shit. But
I don't know if you know that.
What?
Those two shot him.
Oh, really? I did not
I
know that.
wouldn't be surprised.
Learn something
I
every day.
wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, that looks like
All
it's from the tour book that I have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have a
Nice.
tour book from that era. I think it's the Flush the Fashion tour. Yeah.
Let's
Not
see
that I
what
got
else.
to go, I had to buy it off eBay. But it was like, is it Tampa that had the Sun Dome?
I've been to the Sun Dome. I saw Ozzy on the No Rest for the Wicked. Anthrax opened, and Anthrax filmed Antisocial at that show, and that
Oh yeah.
outdoors and all that shit. I was there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I've got I bought an Alice Cooper tour book from the Flush the Fashion tour, and inside is an insert. There's like the Sun Dome in Tampa welcomes Alice Cooper. It was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was there once.
What
All
was
right.
was Sportatorium the main place you would take in shows?
Sportatorium, I got to tell you, man, there's a guy you can get on eBay for like $8. He wrote a book about the Sportatorium. The Sportatorium was the greatest. It was what it was. It was in the middle of nowhere. It was all trees. And then, what's funny is when on Rockin' Pod, when we interviewed Greg Bissonette, I told him about the show. And he goes, hey, that's that place that was nothing but trees for many miles, right? I go, yeah. So that place was kind of like no laws, acid, quaaludes, fucking. I even fucked during Billy Squire in the nosebleeds. I fucked a girl I knew for about 10 minutes. It was lawlessness in that place. And the vibe was amazing. Robert Plant and Billy Joel both hated that place because the thing is that when it would rain, it would leak. That
Oh,
leak.
shit.
It was total mayhem. Like I remember our cars would get stuck in the mud, trying to get out of the place. It was just fucking crazy. You look at Heavy Metal Parking Lot, I swear to God, that's the Sportatorium. It was exactly like that. Those exact characters. I remember, man, we're hanging out one time. I think it was I went to go see The Firm, but it was sold out, so I couldn't get into the show. But I was in the parking lot, and this guy came up. Hey, man, you want to buy some acid? And I'm like, geez, I wish, man. I ain't got no money. All of a sudden, two fucking undercover cops get him. They throw all the acid on the floor, and me and my friends went, whoop. And they carted the guy away, and my friend Damien, I shit you not, he jumped on the floor, and he was going like this. Ah, 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 ah.
Oh my God.
He was fucking gone. I took one hit. I was freaking out. But yeah, that's the Sportatorium, man.
Somebody should do somebody needs to do a documentary on that place.
That place, I'm telling you, there are some. You go on YouTube and you get some stories of when they shut it down. Now it's a big grocery store. And I actually went there and took pictures.
Wow.
In the back of the grocery store where the dumpsters are. That's where the stage was located.
That's sad.
Like, Ralph, didn't you do like a 3 or 4 part series on your channel about it?
I did. I did stories of the Sportatorium because I've been to so many shows at the Sportatorium, starting in 1980 and they closed it 1988. Last show there was Ram It Down, Judas Priest. My
Wow.
show there was Ted Nugent, the Scorpions, and Pat Travers. And Van Halen, the greatest show I ever saw in my life, 1981. But fuck, I saw 80, 81, 82, and 84. The
Oh,
greatest shows I ever saw in my life, you know?
sorry to cut you off just while I'm thinking about it. I recently watched a really good interview with Pat Travers on Rick Beato's channel, going through his career. But I had a thought, like, do you guys remember Rick that helped out with Rockin' Pod last time, or in 2023? He was like, he would like kind of run people around. I know Ian remembers Rick, but like Rick is
Oh yeah,
now
yeah,
he's
yeah.
one of my close friends, but like he road manages for Carmine Apiece, but he also road manages for Pat Travers. So, like, would you guys be because I'm going to try to get him on Decibel Geek to maybe do an Albums Unleashed on like Go For What You Know or something like that. But would you guys be interested in talking to Pat Travers? Because I think that could be a good interview for you guys.
I would love to. I would
'Cause
love to.
Oh hell yeah.
I think I can get him for you because I think that
As long as
and I
he's
think he
willing to
would like you
snort
guys.
whiskey. As long as he's willing to snort whiskey on screen.
I
You
don't know.
know.
Well, you got to talk to Mark Alden Taylor for that.
Yeah, when we interview him, we're gonna invite Mark on so he could just snort whiskey during the whole show.
No way. We
Spend
ain't
5
inviting that
minutes.
fucker on our show. He'll scare Pat Travers off.
Just had that thought come to mind, but I'll be in touch. I'll see if I can put y'all in touch with him because I think that would be a fun interview. I wish you guys would do more interviews because you guys the times you guys do them, you're great at it.
It's hard because of my schedule, really is what it is. Ralph's is so open, he can do shit. Mine's much more rigid
Yeah,
and it sucks.
I've done a lot of interviews on Almost Human Lives.
Yeah, and I've watched a lot of them.
We're gonna get soon the dude from Blackfoot.
Is it Ricky Medlock?
No,
Oh,
the guitar.
There's
player.
another guy from Blackfoot.
Yeah, Blackfoot was actually a bandy, and it wasn't Ricky Medlock up there with tambourines on his knees while he played guitar and sang.
He's the only
I'd
guy
pay
I
to see
know.
that.
Yeah, yeah. So I just want to. I bought this book on this guy that wrote a story about the Sportatorium, and I'm reading this, and it's so accurate. I was at all these shows, but one part was total bull. In 1984, Autograph opened for Van Halen.
Mhm.
Autograph didn't have an album out yet. They didn't have. He said in the book, "Oh, I went with these two girls that were huge fans of Autograph and turn on the radio."
Wasn't even out yet.
You know what Eddie Van Halen said about Autograph?
Mm-mm.
What?
And when Autograph was opening for Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen said, "They're a great T-shirt band because people go out and buy our."
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
Anyway, yeah, Sportatorium rules. It was the greatest fucking time of my life. It was
When did it close?
1988.
Damn.
That long ago. Wow, I thought it made it to the 90s at least.
The last show I saw there was Judas Priest with Cinderella. Ram It Down tour, long cold winter.
Wow.
Damn. That's like Chicago for me. It's all about the Aragon Ballroom, which is still there, but it's like a smaller capacity. They don't have the amount of shows they did back in the day. But the Aragon Ballroom is just legendary. And it's amazing. Like, you know, my grandparents went there when it was an actual ballroom and danced, you know, like in the, 40s and 50s. That's the same place Strangers in the Night UFO was recorded at Aragon Ballroom. And Fraley's Comet Live Plus One was recorded there.
Mhm.
Legendary, and people know it as the Brawl Room because it was just vicious. But it's just one of those venues. Like that's what I miss. But the last show that I ever saw in Chicago before I moved was Tool at the Brawl Room on the Anemia tour, and it was fucking phenomenal.
You say anemia? It's
What the
enema.
fuck's it called? Enema,
Enema.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, that one.
yeah, that's a terrible band, Tool.
I like Tool.
I saw Tool on Ozfest. Guy was
I've seen
up.
them twice.
I saw him once. That was enough. Up there with a Spider-Man suit. What a fucking boring ass band. Fuck them. But their first EP, Opiate.
Opiate.
I
Yeah.
love that EP. I love it.
Especially the song Jerk Off. That song is fucking awesome.
That is a great, great album.
He has a scream in that song where he says the word die. And it goes on for like a minute and a fucking half. It's insane.
I,
Yeah.
I love that.
But you're right though. I saw them on one of the early Lollapalooza shows because they were on the side stage in Babes in Toyland. You remember them?
Yeah.
They were on the main stage and they sucked ass. And like in between songs, we're hearing like this really cool shit from the other stage. We're like, what's going on over there? And it was Tool, but it was like before they were popular. Um, but yeah, the Opiate EP is amazing. Undertow has a lot of good stuff, and then it's kind of spotty from there. But although if you get really high, there's nothing better than listening to Tool to me.
Yeah. That's some amazing shit.
Nice.
All right. Let's see. Creator's putting finishing touches on their new album, and I'm waiting for it. I love me some fucking Creator, man.
Yeah, yeah. Enemy of God, though. They haven't topped that one. Though the stuff they've done after Enemy of God is not bad. But man, I
Yeah.
hope
No,
there's some Enemy of God touch.
no, Enemy of God's fucking amazing. But I'll tell you one I just got this week that I'm loving is the new Sodom album, the Arsonist or something like that, or
Not
yeah, I
that.
think it's the Arsonist. Uh, Good shit. And I love like, the big three of German thrash is, Creator, um, Sodom and Destruction. I was lucky enough to see Destruction, but I gotta be honest, out of the big three of German thrash, they're my least favorite. Oh, nice.
This is my favorite German thrash band. Yeah,
Sodom.
this album's amazing. Good
Which
stuff.
ones I can't see.
Genesis X1X.
Okay. That's
Amazing.
your favorite Sodom album?
No, it's the latest.
Oh. Oh, okay.
And it's awesome.
No, they got a new one out.
Oh, they got a new one out after that one?
Yeah, yeah, it just came out this week.
All right, I'll look into that.
The Arsonist. It's good, dude. I love it. But God, what's the other one? In War and Pieces is another one I really liked a lot. I mean, it's like heavy on Slayer, but like if you like Season of the Abyss era Slayer and shit, really good. But I mean, I love a lot of Creator. Even when Creator got kind of weird and did different shit, I still liked it. Uh, have you ever seen Sodom, Ralph?
No, man. And I met Angel Ripper at the port of Miami on 70 tons of. I didn't go on that 70 tons, but I went there to meet people, and I got to meet
Yeah.
him. He was so cool. I love Sodom, man. I wish I could see them. They're definitely been a bucket list band for me for decades.
Have you seen Creator?
Yeah, many times.
Yeah. How were they live?
Amazing. First time I saw him was on the Flag of Hate tour, really early. Really.
Oh, no shit. Wow.
I see Creator a bunch of times. I saw one time Creator with Destruction on the same bill.
Oh, wow.
And that was like I think the only no, I've seen Destruction after that as well. But yeah, Creator's awesome live. So is Destruction, but I have a feeling
Yeah.
Sodom is better than both of them because I like Sodom more than both of them.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Destruction, I saw Destruction with Sepultura. And it was amazing. That was the night that I walked back, like at this club. I just walked back there and went into Sepultura's dressing room, and they're like, "Who in the fuck is this guy?" And I was like, "Hey, sign my shit." They're like, "What the fuck?" But they signed it, you know. But no, it was a good show. But yeah, as much as I like Destruction, I definitely love Creator and Sodom more. But I'm excited about the new Creator and definitely. I was almost going to have the new Sodom as my pick of the week, but I decided to go with Cooper. Spoiler alert. But all right, what else is going on here? Anything anybody gives a shit about? Feel free to chime in if you guys have a story you want to talk about. It's been a long time because I'd have a colonoscopy last week. Luckily, I only had one polyp and it's not cancerous. So
Well,
unfortunately, you're gonna have to
congratulations.
listen to me. Yeah. Oh, this is something. God damn, I almost thought about buying this for you, Sinzak, because I
Yeah.
love you so much. But I don't know if you have the setup for it. But did you see that the Ramones, they're releasing the first four Ramones albums in Dolby Atmos mixes?
I didn't see that, but I don't have the equipment necessary to actually enjoy that, but I wish I did.
I know it's on my list. It's like in my Amazon wish list. Ralph's tired of hearing me talk about it, but when I get my stereo system finished, I'm getting a receiver that has Dolby Atmos.
Oh, I heard you talking
I
last
don't
week.
know.
I heard you talking last week about your setup and what you've got already, and it sounds I've like we have got to get out to Seattle so we can like watch a movie at your house.
Well,
Because
no, well, visually, I don't have
yeah,
shit for a fucking audio system yet, but when I have that, then it's going to be complete. But the receiver that I'm going to get has Dolby Atmos. But my thing is, will the Ramones lend themselves to a Dolby Atmos mix? That I don't know.
if it makes you feel like you're in the room with them, maybe, but like it would have to like really be an experience for the listener. I mean, there's not a lot of technical stuff going on there, so
Right. Well, that's
yeah,
my thing. Like, I can see like there's certain bands that I think would lend them, like Pink Floyd,
sure.
stuff like that. I could see like a Dolby Atmos where you have the separation and you have all this shit. Like in the '70s when it was the quad phenomenon that lasts for a little bit. Where you get these quad mixes, but it's like really who had the setup for it
All right.
you know, and does the music lend itself. Uh, but no, I know what a fucking huge Cheap Trick fan you are, but it's like limited. I was like, fuck, should I buy one for Sinzak, for Christmas?
Well, hey, you feel free to buy something for me, but yeah, like I'm happy to listen to the Ramones if it makes me feel like I'm in the room with them. That would be awesome. But I am gonna have to hop off here soon, brothers.
All right, well,
Hey,
hey, before you go, we got to do a pick of the week then.
yeah, do your pick of the week.
All right, pick of the week. Why don't I play something? So Aaron and I, as of last night when we recorded, we did a new Radio Sucks episode. So why don't I play something off of that so I can give it some double exposure here? So yeah, because like it's funny, like shows like ours and Cobras and Fire and some other music-based podcasts. I actually had a listener complain, it was through the X or formerly Twitter program, that we and some other shows overplayed Danko Jones music. So I would suggest the new Danko Jones single. It's called What You Need. It's off a new record that's coming out in November, I believe. So I don't know. Are either of you guys into Danko Jones or have you listened to them
Nope,
at all?
I,
No?
not at all.
I've heard them and I liked what I heard.
Okay. Well, cool. That's my pick for today. Danko Jones, What You Need, the new single.
All right,
Nice.
here's my pick right over here.
Here we go. Right there.
Right here.
Right. No, that one. Yeah, right there. Right there.
Oh, hell yeah. This may be my favorite comedy album of all time. Um, this was filmed. It's Richard Pryor Live, but it's a comedy album. Let's pick a music album.
My dad had that record.
Want to go on this side?
Sure.
Sure, right there. Right, that one. That one, right there.
I know Ralph will stand behind basically everything in those shelves.
Yep. Oh, I like this one. Yeah, I
That's
like
a good one.
Trouble Walking. I hate the song Back to School though.
That's lame.
And Too Young to Die. I don't like that song. They would always play it because of Richie Scarlett. But it's a good album. This should have followed the first Frehley's Comet album and be rid of that second one that Ian likes. Fucking Second Sighting.
Todd Howarth saved that album.
That's why I don't get upset when Ian doesn't like something I like. I think Todd Howard.
Yeah.
So that's my
Um,
pick of the week. Ace Frehley, Trouble Walking.
great album.
All right. Well, my pick of the week, I'm going with a Cooper album, and I'm going with the one I talked about it earlier. I think brought Cooper back full circle, and that's the Eyes of Alice Cooper. Really solid album. Musically, lyrically, I think he was really on point. Lyrics are that. What do you want from me? That song is amazing. About the bitchy girlfriend, he's like, hey, I got rid of all my porno. I stopped playing my Xbox. Quit bitching. What the fuck you want from me? It's fantastic. Novocaine's a great song that's on
That
there.
song's amazing.
Yeah, it's a really good album. Um, and that and the follow up, Dirty Diamonds, I think
That's
was
good
amazing.
too.
Dirty Diamonds, I think, has some even better songs, but I think overall, Alice Cooper is the stronger album track for track. Because Dirty Diamonds has that horrible song with fucking Exhibit or whatever. Oh my God, it's so bad.
Yeah, I never listened to that one.
Yeah, it's a bonus track, but for a reason.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
not
was
my
so lucky to
playlist.
buy it on CD. I got the horrible bonus track with Exhibit on there.
How did we not get
Uh,
a Pimp My Ride episode with one of Alice's cars? I don't get it.
yeah, yeah, but no, I mean, but to me, that was a return to form. He stopped trying to chase trends and just be who he was. And I recommend that to any Alice Cooper fan that's listening that is like me, more prone to the original Alice Cooper band, and you like that sound and lyrically and everything. There's no jazz hands on this fucking album. There's no like, oh hey, we're new wave, or this is to get those Lilith Fair fans. It's just being Alice Cooper. So, what you got there, Ralph?
I'm just going to show you the picture that Alice told me because when I had him sign this album,
Oh, I saw that in the White House when Nixon was in there.
yeah, I had him sign this. And what's funny is he signed it twice. He signed the cover down here, then
Yeah,
he
Yeah,
that's awesome.
signed the inside, and he
no,
said, this picture was hanging in the Nixon administration White House. Right
Well,
there.
at least he had the timeline right. But I'll never forget like seeing that in my dad's record collection, and I always thought that my dad wrote Alice Cooper Killer on there because it looked so shitty. I was like, that's my dad's
yeah,
handwriting.
As you can see, he signed it here. Because
that's
Nice,
cool.
yeah,
I
it's cool.
love that.
He signed it twice.
nice.
Was that the same night you got to throw the balloons out on stage?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And our friend filmed it. Stephen Kirsch.
I was jealous of you
Nice.
that night.
I was, I felt so guilty because I was given a meet and greet. Like they get, I didn't pay for it. Like the
Mhm.
guy that worked for us, he gave it to me. Now, one of the people in the meet and greet gets to throw out balloons, and everybody else paid. I felt guilty. I ain't gonna lie, but I wasn't gonna about to go. Go ahead, you do it since you paid.
That's the benefits of celebrity, man.
Yeah.
Yep, and I still got that video, man. Me throwing out the balloon. I
I
told my
remember seeing that. I was like, that lucky motherfucker.
But then he was like, the guy who paid the most had a "Hey Stupid" shirt on, and he's like, "Fuck him, fuck him," Hey
fucking.
Stupid, that was some horrible shit.
I was there with my drummer Marquez. I was like, dude, film me, all right? Don't forget, film me. Oh, don't worry, bro. I got you. He
I
didn't
just
film.
love that I'd never hear a negative story about anyone meeting Alice. It's always good.
He's always yeah. He's a big ass liar, but he was nice.
He is a
Yeah, because
liar.
he'll make it up to make you happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, but he's always good with the fans. Like I've never heard a negative. I don't think I've ever heard a negative interaction with fans ever, which is kind of crazy.
Speaking
Yeah.
of that, you know what I saw the other day? Brian Johnson yelling at a woman in an airport. Have you seen this footage?
No.
Brian Johnson was out in his car, like, where you get to the airport, you're taking out luggage.
Yeah.
He's screaming at some woman, yo, bloody fuck you, you fucking bitch. Yeah, there's
What's he
footage.
upset about?
I don't know. They didn't explain it in the video. But he
Okay.
is. And I'm like, look at Brian Johnson mad. I never thought that happened.
She probably told him that Who Made Who was an awful album.
Yeah. She
What?
probably said Dave Evans was the better singer.
Yeah, well, we all know that.
Probably like, it's about time you got Chris Chaney in the band.
The one person who was waiting for that.
Ugh.
Right.
Great photo, Ian. I love it.
Yeah, you like that?
I
Yeah.
saw I also saw this thing today that Miley Cyrus was very rude to her fans at a signing.
Hmm.
She did a record with Naomi Campbell. Is that her name?
The
Uh,
model,
yeah, I think it's her.
Naomi Campbell, has musical talent.
Yes. No, well,
About as much as about as much as Miley Cyrus.
I'm about to say Miley Cyrus. But anyway, there's footage of Miley Cyrus and the model while people, girl, like little fans going up, get autograph. They're both yapping to each other, signing autographs like this, and you can see the faces of these fans
Disappointment.
how sad they are because they stood there for hours, only for and I swear, man, every time somebody walked up, she would turn her face to the model and they'd start yapping and autographing.
Oh, that's fucking cold.
Yeah, well, it serves them right for being Miley Cyrus fans.
Yeah, fuck them.
Well, I raised a couple of Miley Cyrus fans, so I can't say anything.
Well, don't take them to meet her; they'll be disappointed.
No, well, I wouldn't do that in the first place.
Right on. All right, hey Ian, we should leave as well, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I mean, there was one last story about David Ellison getting busted for grooming Josh Toomey, but maybe we shouldn't talk about that. I don't know.
Oh man,
Hey, did you hear? Umi's going back on the road with Primer 55. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him.
yeah.
Waiting for that Seattle stop for that new metal tour, new metal revival tour.
Hey,
Yeah.
I would go.
Be
I
there.
would go in a heartbeat, even though Josh probably wouldn't even put me on the guest list. But
Oh yeah, he would. I saw the tour dates. Not a damn thing near Nashville. I was like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe one of these days.
All I can say is I'm very proud of Scab Dr. Fuck.
Well,
He's,
Sinzak, thank you so much
Hey,
for guesting on this. And I want to do another one. I'm going to try to work on this. I don't know if either of you guys are familiar with this channel because it's much more of a Blu-ray channel and a movie channel, but there's this guy, CHH, yes, CHH, Christian Hannah Horror, and he is a huge Alice Cooper fan, and he is a defender of the Blackout era.
nice.
And he's got a very popular channel. I would like to get him on here. And this kid's like, he's like my kid's age, but he's got an Alice Cooper tattoo. Alice Cooper is his favorite artist of all time. And I would love to try to get him on here with the three of us and do one of the Blackout albums. So.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I already have an idea. So, because I did this with Dick Wagner when we interviewed him and did the albums Unleashed on Dada. Like, he didn't have he kind of laughed off a lot of the theories, but like there was a kid, and I still think I still have the notes, who put together a whole like thesis on what he thought the Dada album was about, the concept behind it and everything. And some of the stuff Dick actually did confirm, like, well, yeah, that's kind of close to what we were going for. But like there's a whole concept behind it. So like if you want to talk to him, I'm totally game. And maybe even Aaron will come on because we both got locked, really into the mythology behind that record. If you want to do Dada, I'd totally be down for that.
Yeah. Well, and I have this conspiracy theory about how, Warner Brothers didn't promote it because it was a horrible album.
I made Alice sign my Dada.
I'm jealous.
Nice.
I don't have a signed one.
All right. Well, maybe that will be like a super episode where we get both the guys from Decibel Geek and we get Christian Hannah Horror on here. Because he's got a very popular channel that's right there with Ralph's YouTube page. So it'd be a good
well, you know how to ride coattails. I'm ready to do the same. So
yeah. So I'll start working on that. So, we'll have this whole series of shitty Alice Cooper records.
Oh, man.
But no, thank you for coming on. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Yes.
And I know you got a lot going on, and I know you made time for this, and I know it started even later than you thought it was going to. So thank you.
It'll be worth that. It'll be worth the hangover tomorrow. I'm always happy to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, you're going to be cussing us at 4 a.m.
I will be.
For sure. Well, let's let old Chris go and let's end this.
All right.
Go ahead, you do the endings.
Okay. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, come back when we talk about another shitty Alice Cooper solo record right here on the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast.
Hey, schmagamagob.
We love you, you Polak. Mwah.
Love you guys. Thanks so much.
All right.